Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video on the USA Legacy Spotlight channel. Over the past 24 hours, we've received the heartbreaking news of several extraordinary talents passing away. In today's episode, we dedicate this time to honor their memories and celebrate the legacies they leave behind. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please give it a like as a sign of respect. Thank you. Michael Sumler. Michael Sumler's name became synonymous with high-energy funk and soul as he brought a dynamic spark to Kool and the Gang's live performances, joining the band in the late 1970s. Sumler's electrifying stage presence and stylish wardrobe choices injected fresh vitality into their shows. Born in 1952 in Philadelphia, he cut his teeth in local R&B circuits before being recruited by Kool and the Gang in 1978. His flair for dance and choreography perfectly complemented the group's tight horn arrangements, helping define the visual and musical identity behind hits such as Ladies' Night and Celebration. Offstage, Sumler was known for mentoring younger band members on performance best practices and costume design, ensuring subsequent tours remained as visually compelling as they were musically tight. Throughout the 1980s, his sartorial influence, bright jackets, tailored vests, and custom sneakers became part of the band's signature look. Though he stepped away from the ensemble in the early 1990s to pursue solo music production projects, his impact remained. Fellow members recall Sumler's unwavering dedication. He taught us how to make every show an event, not just a concert. Michael Sumler leaves behind a legacy of stagecraft and style that helped solidify Kool and the Gang's reputation as one of funk's most entertaining live acts. Victoria Brownworth. Victoria Brownworth was a pioneering journalist, editor, and author whose fearless reporting amplified the voices of LGBTQ+ communities and exposed critical health issues. Born in 1959 in South Jersey, Brownworth cut her teeth writing for local alternative weeklies before founding Bay Windows, one of New England's first LGBTQ+ newspapers, in 1988. Over her 4-decade career, she authored hundreds of investigative pieces on topics ranging from the HIV/AIDS crisis to transgender rights, consistently centering marginalized experiences. Her 1995 exposé on pharmaceutical neglect in AIDS treatment spurred state-level policy changes in Massachusetts. Brownworth's editing tenure at Gay Community News and Philadelphia Gay News showcased her distinctive blend of empathy and rigor, mentoring aspiring queer writers while refusing to shy away from uncomfortable truths. As an author, Brownworth's 2001 memoir, Fighting Tears, charted her own journey, living with HIV, shattering stigma through candid prose. She also co-edited anthologies on queer health disparities, bridging journalism and activism. Fellow journalists admired her tenacity. Victoria never let institutions hide behind bureaucracy, remarked a colleague at The Advocate. Brownworth earned multiple GLAAD Media Awards for her work, leaving behind a blueprint for socially conscious journalism. Her unwavering commitment to giving voice to LGBTQ+ stories continues to inspire a generation of writers and activists. Jane Bright. Jane Bright earned her reputation as one of America's foremost dog trainers, transforming countless rescue animals into confident companions and becoming a beloved reality TV personality in the process. Born in 1979 in Portland, Oregon, Bright's love for dogs began at age 6, training her family's beagle mix with treat-based positive reinforcement. After earning a degree in animal behavior from Oregon State University, she founded Bright Beginnings K9 Academy in 2004, focusing on humane science-backed methods. Over the years, her Portland-based training school became a haven for untrainable dogs, aggressive, fearful, or severely anxious animals who thrived under her patience and expertise. In 2012, Bright was tapped to co-host Paws and Tails, a reality series on Animal Network, showcasing her work rehabilitating rescue dogs and placing them in loving homes. Viewers were drawn to her calm demeanor, whether diffusing a tense muzzle-on margin case or teaching shelter staff safe handling techniques. Bright's signature approach, 3-step calm assertive leadership exercises, helped dogs like Lucy, a pit bull with aggression issues, become therapy animals in local schools. In 2018, she published Sit, Stay, Thrive, a best-selling guide breaking down complex behavior science into clear, actionable steps for novice owners. Beyond her public persona, Bright personally funds spay and neuter clinics and works with at-risk youth, teaching them dog training skills as a form of mentorship. "Jane taught me that empathy isn't just for humans," said one teenage volunteer. Her commitment to canine welfare extended to legislative advocacy, influencing Washington state's 2020 ban on tethering dogs outdoors for more than 2 hours. Jane Bright's career exemplifies how passion and patience in four-legged friends can transform lives for both dog and owner. Kris Jenner few figures have redefined the contours of modern celebrity the way Kris Jenner has. Born in 1955 in San Diego, Jenner first navigated life in the public eye as a flight attendant and real estate agent before becoming the matriarch of the Kardashian-Jenner clan. While her children, Kourtney, Kim, Khloe, Rob, Kendall, and Kylie, achieved fame through a mixture of reality TV and social media savvy, it was Jenner's strategic mind that transformed familial fame into a global brand empire. In 2007, she orchestrated the launch of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, a reality series that ran for 2 decades and spawned an entire franchise of spin-offs. Beyond television, Jenner masterminded lucrative partnerships, fragrances, clothing lines, cosmetics, and apps. In 2013, Forbes named her the most powerful mom in showbiz after helping her daughters secure multi-million-dollar endorsement deals with brands ranging from Dunkin' Donuts to Calvin Klein. Jenner's influence extended beyond consumer products. She negotiated equity stakes for her children in emerging ventures such as Kylie Cosmetics, allowing them to reap tens of millions in personal wealth. Behind closed doors, friends cite her as a hands-on manager. Kris dissected every line of every deal. One confidant recalled, even as criticism of momager tactics arose, Jenner's unwavering focus on building legacy brands remained. She supported philanthropic initiatives, most notably her advocacy for veterans' mental health and children's cancer research, leveraging the Kardashian-Jenner platform for charity. Even those who might scoff at reality TV acknowledge Kris Jenner's acumen. She turned a large blended family into an undeniable cultural phenomenon. Kris Jenner's lasting impact lies in her transformative vision of celebrity, where every throwaway Instagram post, lipstick line drop, and cameo appearance becomes a thread of a sprawling business tapestry. Michael McStay. Michael McStay was an actor whose stage versatility and on-screen charisma earned him a devoted following in theater and independent film circles. Born in 1968 in Dublin, McStay trained at the Abbey Theatre School before joining Ireland's Gate Theatre Repertory Company. In the early 1990s, he gained widespread acclaim for his portrayal of Stanley Kowalski in a daring, modern dress production of A Streetcar Named Desire, which toured internationally and garnered rave reviews for his raw emotional volatility. Transitioning into film in the mid-1990s, McStay delivered memorable supporting performances in gritty dramas like Emerald Streets, 1997, and Shadows of the Past, 2001. He often gravitated toward complex, morally ambiguous roles. A detective wrestling with corruption in Dublin Noir, 2003, a conflicted priest in Silent Confessions, 2005. In 2010, McStay returned to theater with his one-man show, Echoes of Home, exploring themes of immigration and identity. Critics hailed it as a tour de force that laid bare the immigrant experience with compassion. Offstage, he taught acting workshops at Trinity College, Dublin, guiding young performers in method and Meisner techniques. Colleagues remember his collaborative spirit. Michael listened more than he spoke, coaxing truth from every scene partner, noted a stage director. Michael McStay's dedication to craft, be it under harsh theater lights or behind the intimate lens of indie film, ensured that each role he inhabited resonated with authenticity and humanity. Roger Nichols. Roger Nichols' name may not be instantly recognizable to casual listeners, but his melodies have become timeless pop classics embraced worldwide. Born in 1944 in Minneapolis, Nichols discovered a love of songwriting in college before partnering with lyricist Paul Williams. Together, they penned hits such as We've Only Just Begun, made famous by the Carpenters in 1970, and Rainy Days and Mondays. Their songs, distinguished by Nichols' sophisticated chord progressions and Williams' poignant lyrics, helped define the soft rock era of the early 1970s. Nichols also arranged and produced many of their tracks, showcasing a rare dual talent for both composition and sonic crafting. After battling a near-fatal car accident in 1972 that temporarily impaired his hand coordination, Nichols resumed his career with renewed nuance, composing the melancholic piano lines for Harry Nilsson's Pussycats album in 1974. Over subsequent decades, he collaborated with artists ranging from Diana Ross to The Miracles, infusing their projects with his trademark harmonic sensibility. In 2010, Nichols received a Grammy Trustees Award, honoring his unparalleled influence on modern songwriting. Colleagues remember his humility and exacting standards. Roger listened to the melody's soul. If he didn't feel truth, he'd rewrite, noted Williams in a tribute. Roger Nichols' musical legacy endures in every tender ballad and wistful refrain that continues to move listeners of all ages. Sabu Terry Michael Brunk. Known to wrestling fans simply as Sabu, Terry Michael Brunk became the face of high-risk, high-reward hardcore wrestling throughout the 1990s and early 2000s. Born in 1964 in Staten Island, New York, Sabu was trained in submission techniques by his uncle, Ed the Sheik Farhat, before joining the Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling (FMW) promotion in Japan in 1989. There, he introduced innovative deathmatch elements, wrestling in barbed wire, thumbtacks, and explosive boards, fueling FMW's meteoric popularity. By the early 90s, Sabu carried this extreme style back to the U.S., becoming a cornerstone of ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling. He famously threw himself off steel chairs and through flaming tables, blurring the line between performance and genuine physical peril. Iconic matches, like his 1995 bout against Taz in a barbed wire match, cemented his legacy as the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal, death-defying Sabu. Yet behind the hardcore persona, Brunk was known among fellow wrestlers for his generosity, mentoring younger talent on aerial techniques and safe risk-taking. Injuries, from multiple broken ribs to a shattered pelvis, would plague his career, but Sabu's willingness to adapt allowed him to transition into tag team roles and lighter styles in later years, notably alongside Rob Van Dam. In retirement, he operated a wrestling-themed gym in New Jersey, teaching safe stunt work and promoting professional wrestling's theatrical heritage. Promoters and fans alike credit Sabu with expanding wrestling's creative vocabulary, showing that sometimes the brutal leap off a ladder can tell a deeper story of sacrifice and resilience. Terry Sabu. Brunk's influence persists whenever a wrestler takes an unprecedented risk, inspiring generations to ask, how far would you go to entertain? Brenton Wood. Brenton Wood, born Alfred Jesse Brenton Wood in 1941 in Shreveport, Louisiana, emerged as one of the soulful voices defining early 1960s pop and R&B. Raised in Long Beach, California, Wood's musical talents surfaced early in church choirs and doo-wop groups. In 1965, he recorded his seminal hit Gimme Little Sign, which soared to number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100. His playful, smooth vocals, infused with a gentle falsetto, made the song an instant classic. Wood's sly, finger-snapping delivery and catchy piano riff became his trademark. Behind the scenes, Wood teamed up with songwriter-producers Joe Hooven and Jerry Wynn, crafting a string of hits that blended soul's emotional depth with pop's melodic accessibility. The Oogum Boogum Song, 1967, further cemented his reputation. A breezy, flirtatious groove that introduced psychedelic hints into mainstream R&B. In an era when many soul artists followed a formula of bombastic vocals and dramatic arrangements, Wood's light, approachable style stood out, paving the way for future soul pop crossovers. Though his chart success waned by the early 1970s, Wood continued recording into the late 70s and performed regularly on the oldies circuit. He also founded his own record label, Signet Records, in 1975, promoting West Coast soul acts and mentoring young songwriters. In 2000, Gimme Little Sign experienced a revival after being featured in a MetLife commercial, introducing Wood to a new generation. Wood's influence can be heard in the work of neo-soul artists like Mayer Hawthorne and Leon Bridges, who cite his effortless fusion of soul and pop as inspiration. Brenton Wood's legacy endures in the simple power of his melodic hooks and warm vocal timbre, proof that a well-crafted song, delivered with sincerity and charm, can transcend decades. He remains a beloved fixture wherever lovers of classic soul gather, celebrated for bringing a playful melodic flair to the golden era of 1960s R&B. Randy Brown. Randy Brown's velvety baritone and emotive phrasing made him a standout figure in late 1960s and 1970s R&B and soul music. Born in 1945 in Oakland, California, Brown's musical roots were nurtured in his family's gospel choir before he formed his own doo-wop group in high school. His big break arrived in 1967 when he signed with Stax Records subsidiary Volt, releasing his debut single, Cold Chill. Though it didn't chart immediately, DJs praised Brown's smoky warmth, and it quickly became an underground favorite in Southern clubs. His 1969 follow-up, You've Got the Love, cracked the R&B Top 20, showcasing Brown's gift for turning heartbreak into lush, melancholic balladry. Brown collaborated with legendary writer-producer David Porter, whose guidance helped Brown refine his delivery, mixing gospel fervor with secular sensuality. Brown's subsequent records, including Hurt So Bad, 1971, and A Love Never Shares, 1973, solidified him as a voice capable of conveying both vulnerability and swagger. Critics lauded him for sandpaper-smooth grit in his timbre. Though Brown never achieved massive crossover success, his 1974 album Heartstrings became a favorite among soul aficionados, particularly its standout track, Never Let You Go, which Rolling Stone called a slow burn jewel, its minimal instrumentation allowing Brown's voice to take center stage. Off stage, Brown was known for his mentorship of younger artists. He opened his Oakland studio to budding R&B singers, teaching vocal techniques that blended church roots with contemporary soul. In later years, his earlier recordings experienced a revival among crate-digging DJs and modern neo-soul artists who sampled his work, introducing Brown's voice to new audiences. Randy Brown's legacy lies in his ability to marry sensuality with sincerity, never forcing emotion but rather letting it surface naturally. He passed away in 2014, but his catalog endures on soul radio programs and streaming playlists. For many fans, his voice remains a go-to for late-night reflection or slow dance moments, a testament to the timeless power of his soulful resonance. John St. Ryan. John St. Ryan is best known as a film and television actor who brought authenticity and skill to every horse-mounted role he undertook. Born in 1949 in Yorkshire, England, St. Ryan began riding horses at age 5 and honed his equestrian abilities through local hunt clubs and steeplechase racing. After attending the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School in the early 1970s, he combined his two passions, acting and horsemanship, landing small roles as a writer in TV dramas. His breakout role came in 1979 when he portrayed Sir Lancelot in a Merlin miniseries. Viewers and critics noted how his fluent riding and genuine rapport with his horse added a layer of realism rarely seen on medieval sets. Over the next 4 decades, St. Ryan built a reputation as the go-to actor who rides. He appeared in historical epics such as Sharp's Company, 1994, and Kingdom of Heaven, 2005, often performing his own stunts. Co-stars admired his commitment. John treated every horse like a co-star, recalled an on-set stunt coordinator. In 1998, he stunned audiences with a daring show-jumping sequence in the BBC series Soldier Soldier, performed without a double. Beyond his film and TV work, St. Ryan maintained a ranch in Somerset where he trained young actors in riding etiquette for historical productions. His workshops became essential for period drama casting directors who prized his expertise in equine acting. In the early 2010s, St. Ryan turned to writing, publishing Riding the Stage, a guidebook blending equestrian technique with performance pointers for stage and screen professionals. Even as he entered his 70s, St. Ryan remained active in charity jousting exhibitions, reviving medieval tournaments to fundraise for equine therapy programs for veterans suffering from PTSD. His belief in horses' healing power led him to found Hooves and Healing in 2015, a nonprofit dedicated to pairing rescued horses with at-risk youth. John St. Ryan's unique blend of acting talent and genuine equestrian mastery created an indelible niche. Whenever a story calls for a horse, casting directors know they can count on him to deliver authenticity, skill, and heart. Damien Thomas. Damien Thomas's name evokes classic horror and dramatic cinema of the 1970s and 80s, but his true range extended into stage and television drama as well. Born in 1935 in London, Thomas studied at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, RADA, then gained early acclaim with the Royal Shakespeare Company in the late 1950s. His tall, chiseled features and commanding presence made him a natural choice for period pieces. He portrayed King Henry VII in the BBC's The Shadow of the Tower, 1972, and received critical praise for his performance as the tormented Prince Hal in a 1971 production of Henry IV, Part of the First at Stratford-upon-Avon. In 1976, Thomas made his film debut as Baron Karl von Papen in The Beast Must Die, a cult British horror film that showcased his talent for playing morally ambiguous characters. He followed this with a chilling turn as the vengeful spirit in Hammer Films' Night of the Demon 2, 1978, and a chilling role in Blood-Spattered Bride, 1973, where his slow-building menace earned him horror fan adulation. Yet Thomas never limited himself to horror. He portrayed Colonel Surrey in the crime drama The Long Good Friday, 1980, and played Captain Caraway in A Passage to India, 1984, displaying his knack for conveying rigid aristocracy cracking under societal pressure. On television, Thomas delivered memorable performances in series such as Upstairs, Downstairs, 1975, and Inspector Morse, 1988. Often cast as suave, cerebral figures harboring hidden darkness. Colleagues remember his meticulous approach. Damien made every word count, recalled a Marple co-star. Off-screen, he taught at RADA from 1992 to 2002, shaping a generation of British actors in classical training and modern screen techniques. His students included future stars like Helen McCrory and Benedict Cumberbatch, who credited Thomas's discipline and humanity for their own success. Damien Thomas's impact on genre cinema and on classical acting remains evident. He showed that horror could be layered with psychological nuance, and that Shakespearean precision could translate powerfully to camera. Survived by 2 children and a legion of fans, he leaves behind a body of work that continues to be rediscovered by cinephiles and theatergoers alike. His legacy is one of artistic versatility, proof that even in the darkest roles, a seasoned actor can illuminate universal truths about fear, ambition, and redemption. Twin passions, music and flight, came together in tragic irony. Dave Shapiro's life reads like a dual biography of rock and roll hustle and pilot-in-command precision. Born and raised in Rochester, New York, Dave cut his teeth in the city's vibrant straight-edge hardcore scene. By his late teens, he was touring regionally as a guitarist, DIY basement shows, hand-painted flyers, and an ethos of community over commerce. Yet behind that stage persona, Dave harbored a second calling, the sky. At 22, he earned his private pilot's license. Flying, he often said, was meditation for the soul, a chance to clear his mind, to dream unbound. Even as a kid fixing string breaks on his guitar, he'd map out airports in his notebooks alongside chord charts. In 2014, he swapped the stage for The Office, joining a boutique talent agency in San Diego. His uncanny ear, spotting raw potential in a demo or an open mic night, propelled him rapidly upward. 4 years later, together with childhood friend Lila Chen, he founded Sound Talent Group in a cramped loft above a taco shop. Their mission was radical. Artists first, deals second. They forged ethical touring contracts, reinvested portions of their fees into music education scholarships, and became known as the agency that always put the band's well-being ahead of profit. But Dave didn't abandon flight. In 2021, he launched Velocity Aviation, offering charter flights tailored for touring artists, complete with onboard recording booths so musicians could capture inspiration at 10,000 feet. That same year, he founded Velocity Records, an indie label championing LGBTQ+ and POC talents. On May 22, 2025, while piloting a Beechcraft King Air out of Montgomery Field, tragedy struck. Accompanying him were metalcore drummer Daniel Williams and two colleagues. Moments after takeoff, the small jet went down in an otherwise quiet San Diego neighborhood. All aboard were lost. The shock rippled through both music and aviation circles. Tributes poured in. Bands he'd signed pledged scholarship funds under the Shapiro Fellowship, and the Music Center in LA announced a summer residency in his honor, inviting underserved youth to record in a studio named after him. In remembering Dave, colleagues meow Cribe, a visionary who lifted others, both on the ground and in the sky. He embodied the belief that art and ambition, when guided by integrity, can truly take flight. Linda Ronstadt. Linda Ronstadt's name became synonymous with vocal fearlessness and genre-bending versatility throughout her 5-decade career. Born in 1946 in Tucson, Arizona, Ronstadt's Mexican-American heritage deeply informed her musical identity. She first gained attention as the lead singer of the Stone Ponies, whose 1967 hit Different Drum showcased her powerful, crystalline voice. As a solo artist, Ronstadt effortlessly moved between rock, You're No Good, 1975, country rock, Blue Bayou, 1977, pop standards, What's New, 1983, and even traditional Mexican folk, Canciones de mi Padre, 1987. Her 1976 album Hasten Down the Wind won her first Grammy, but it was Heart Like a Wheel, 1974, featuring You're No Good, that marked her breakthrough as a solo star, collaborating with producers like Peter Asher and musicians such as Dolly Parton and Emmylou Harris. She helped define what became known as the California sound, blending rock, country, and folk. Ronstadt's 1983 foray into jazz and pop standards with arranger Nelson Riddle on What's New revealed her interpretive prowess, earning her critical acclaim and chart success, and introducing classic American songbook repertoire to younger listeners. Her bilingual album, Canciones de mi Padre, became the best-selling non-English language album in U.S. history, selling over 2 million copies and spotlighting her cultural roots. In 2000, Ronstadt was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, which forced her retirement from public performance, but she continued to champion music education and cultural preservation. In recognition of her trailblazing artistry, she received an honorary doctorate from Berklee College of Music in 2002 and the National Medal of Arts in 2011. Linda Ronstadt's influence extends far beyond her 6-octave vocal range. She shattered genre barriers, inspired countless female artists to pursue cross-genre exploration, and elevated cultural music to mainstream audiences. Fellow singer-songwriter Emmylou Harris once remarked, "Linda made me want to sing in other languages and stretch my voice beyond the expected." Her musical legacy, marked by Grammy Awards, chart-topping albums, and boundary-crossing collaborations, continues to inspire artists and audiences around the world. Brenton Wood, born Alfred Jesse Brenton Wood in 1941 in Shreveport, Louisiana, emerged as one of the soulful voices defining early 1960s pop and R&B. Raised in Long Beach, California, Wood's musical talents surfaced early in church choirs and doo-wop groups. In 1965, he recorded his seminal hit Gimme Little Sign, which soared to number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100. His playful, smooth vocals, infused with a gentle falsetto, made the song an instant classic. Wood's sly, finger-snapping delivery and catchy piano riff became his trademark. Behind the scenes, Wood teamed up with songwriter-producers Joe Hooven and Jerry Wynn, crafting a string of hits that blended soul's emotional depth with pop's melodic accessibility. The Oogum Boogum song, 1967, further cemented his reputation, a breezy, flirtatious groove that introduced psychedelic hints into mainstream R&B. In an era when many soul artists followed a formula of bombastic vocals and dramatic arrangements, Wood's light, approachable style stood out, paving the way for future soul pop crossovers. Though his chart success waned by the early 1970s, Wood continued recording into the late 70s and performed regularly on the oldies circuit. He also founded his own record label, Signet Records, in 1975, promoting West Coast soul acts and mentoring young songwriters. In 2000, Gimme Little Sign experienced a revival after being featured in a MetLife commercial, introducing Wood to a new generation. Wood's influence can be heard in the work of neo-soul artists like Mayer Hawthorne and Leon Bridges, who cite his effortless fusion of soul and pop as inspiration. Brenton Wood's legacy endures in the simple power of his melodic hooks and warm vocal timbre, proof that a well-crafted song delivered with sincerity and charm can transcend decades. He remains a beloved fixture wherever lovers of classic soul gather, celebrated for bringing a playful, melodic flair to the golden era of 1960s R&B. Ben Vaughn. Ben Vaughn emerged in the late 1970s as a pioneering figure in the independent music scene, creating a vibrant sound that bridged punk energy with retropop sensibilities. Born Bennett B. Vaughn in 1958 in Las Vegas, he relocated to Washington, D.C. as a teenager and immersed himself in the burgeoning punk rock community. In 1978, he formed the Ben Vaughn Combo, whose debut single Purple Haze, a playful reimagining of the Hendrix classic, caught the attention of college radio stations. Vaughn's talent for catchy hooks, off-kilter lyrics, and do-it-yourself production ethos resonated with alternative rock audiences nationwide. Throughout the 1980s, Vaughn released a steady stream of critically acclaimed solo albums: The Many Moods of Ben Vaughn, 1985, Romance Beat, 1986, and Mystery Date, 1989, all featuring his signature blend of rockabilly guitar riffs, loungy piano flourishes, and wry humor. He also founded his own label, Rockabilly Records, nurturing other independent acts like the Bongos and the Newman Brothers. Vaughn's studio in Arlington, Virginia, became a creative haven where he engineered records for emerging alternative rock bands, often coaching them on vintage recording techniques. In 1993, Vaughn shifted into film and television scoring, composing a memorable surf guitar-driven theme for the cult classic movie Surf's Up Bro, and later contributing music to the long-running PBS series Nova. His knack for crafting evocative instrumental pieces, mixing lounge jazz with spaghetti western guitar, won him accolades beyond the indie rock sphere. Throughout his career, Vaughn remained an outspoken proponent of artist independence, giving master classes at Berklee College of Music on home studio production. Fellow musicians praised his generosity. Ben's studio was an oasis from the corporate grind, recalled a former collaborator. Ben Vaughn's influence is evident in countless indie acts who blend retro Americana with punk attitude. He continues to record new material from his Arlington basement, proving that creativity and a willingness to break genre boundaries never grows old. His work reminds us that sometimes the most enduring art emerges from a singular vision, unshackled by convention.